Alright everybody, we're going to be solving algebraic equations today. We're going to do it with different models. Here's a really rough draft, but we're going to look at it with arrow diagrams, balance scales, and using algebra tiles. Alright, we're going to look at arrow diagrams first. So we're going to be solving this algebraic equation, 2 minus 2n equals 4. And we're going to be building up an equation and then solving an equation. And we're going to build it around this variable n. So on the top, we are building the equation starting with n. Now the first thing that's affecting the n is it's multiplied by -2. So that's what we're doing first to build the equation, resulting in -2n. The next thing affecting the equation is you're adding +2. So now it's going to result in -2n plus 2. Now that we built the equation, we're going to solve the equation. So we built this half, and then the right side is it equals 4. So we're going to put that right here. And we're going to solve this by using inverse operations. So remember, the opposite of add is subtract, opposite of multiply, divide, opposite of square is square root. So we're going this direction now. If it says add on the top, we're going to do the opposite, and we're going to subtract. 4 minus 2, 2. And then if it says multiply, we will divide by -2. 2 divided by -2 is -1. Therefore, the answer is n equals -1. The next model we're looking at is balance scale. So here's our algebraic equation, 2 minus 3n equals -n plus 4. So with balance scale, we always want to make sure whatever we do to the left, we also do to the right. When we make our balance scale, this wedge here goes in line with the equal sign. So we're going to model the equation first. Two constants are just two little circles. -3n means that we have 3 little -n boxes. 2, 3. And then the other side, -n, so just one of those boxes, and 4 counters. Our goal is to figure out what one of these -n's equal, or what one of these n's equals. So we're trying to isolate it. So we're going to start with just getting rid of this one. So we're going to subtract -n from both sides. And we'll model that like this, circle it, get rid of it. And then we will restate the equation. We will subtract 2 from both sides. Get rid of them. Getting those n's by themselves. We will divide into 2 equal groups to find out how many is in one group. So we find that -n equals, like one -n equals 1. But we can't have a negative variable. Therefore, we're going to divide by -1 on each side to get rid of that negative, and n equals -1. The next model we're looking at is solving with algebra tiles. So we're going to take the same algebraic equation, and remember with algebra tiles, we are trying to isolate the variable with 0 pairs. So if there's a negative, you add a positive, and they cancel each other out. Now remember, when they give you a legend, always look at it so you know what color the positive is going to be and what color the negative will be. But generally speaking, your big square is your x squared. Your rods are just the variable, and the tiny squares are your constants. So we're going to solve with algebra tiles. I put a squiggle down the middle. That represents the equal sign. And then the first step is to model the equation. So we have 2 little constants and then 3 negative ends, 3 negative rods. And then on the other side, we only have 1 negative rod and 4 little constants. Now, again, we are trying to isolate the variable and find out what one of these rods equals. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to take away this n on this side. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to add a positive n to both sides. Those make 0 pairs, so we cancel those out. We restate the equation. We get rid of these 2 positives by adding 2 negatives, both sides. Remember, we got to keep it balanced. And then those make 0 pairs, make into 2 equal groups. Run into a problem where the variable cannot be negative. So we flip the tiles, the negatives become positives, the positives become negatives. And now we have our solution of our solution of n equals -1. Be sure to practice all of these models, grade 9s. They will come up next year in grade 10. And if you have any questions, keep the emails coming. Keep asking questions. Take care, guys.